In the heated atmosphere following the Miami GP race, Lando Norris vented his frustration in a tense interview after a controversial first corner incident with Max Verstappen thwarted his ambitions of winning the race. Despite showing incredible speed and fighting spirit, Norris was deeply disappointed with Verstappen's race decisions and maneuvers. Will this tension spark a new heated rivalry? Let's discuss. Lando Norris expressed his deep frustration after a dramatic race in Miami where he could only finish second, losing out to McLaren teammate Oscar Piastri. Piastri's victory gave him his fourth win of the season and increased his lead in the Drivers' Championship. Despite having the speed to win, Norris had to settle for second place after a series of controversial events, including an incident with Max Verstappen on the first lap. Norris started the race from second place on the front row with Verstappen, who started from pole position. The excitement was palpable in the first corner when Norris was involved in a collision with Verstappen that sent him off the track. Despite the incident, Verstappen was not penalized, leaving Norris deeply frustrated. After going off the track, Norris dropped to fourth place behind Verstappen, Kimi Antonelli and Piastri. But Norris did not give up. He worked hard to catch up and tried to break through the line of drivers in front of him. His incredible speed helped him stay in contention until the end of the race. There was a tense moment when Norris dueled with Verstappen again towards the end of the race. At one point, he almost forced Verstappen's Red Bull off the track, but quickly decided to give back the position before continuing the battle. After crossing the line and finishing the race in second place, Norris was clear about his disappointment. It's never a good feeling, but the team did a great job, so I can't blame them at all. Good pit stops, great pace, we were going fast. My feeling was good, but Oscar drove well, said Norris, although it was clear that his frustration could not be hidden. Max gave me a good fight as usual and I paid the price, but that's the way it is, he continued, suggesting that Verstappen's decisions during the race had a big impact on his result. However, Norris could not help but be disappointed with Verstappen's tactics, which he felt put him in a difficult position. What can I say? If I don't do it, people will complain. If I do it, people will complain, so you can't win. But that's the way it is with Max, it's either crash or fail, said Norris, who felt Verstappen had more freedom to choose his tactics during the race. He criticized the Dutchman's ability to manage his battle so well, making him very difficult to beat. Returning to race strategy, Norris stressed the importance of qualifying position to avoid incidents like the one that occurred on the first lap. Qualifying first, that's the obvious thing, isn't it? He said with a frustrated but confident tone. He knows that getting to the front is the key to avoiding the problems that come with being behind a driver like Verstappen. Oscar passed him, I passed him. We both passed him, but you have to be in the right place, said Norris, who admitted that beating Verstappen requires not only speed but also luck to be in the right place at the right time. On the other hand, Norris also noticed that Verstappen did not always desperately fight his opponents, especially when he knew their position was not threatened. In the end, he let me go. He didn't even fight. It depends on how much he wants to fight you, said Norris, who stressed that Verstappen always knows when to go all out and when to let his opponents pass. That's Max. He does a good job. He can do whatever he wants, Norris added in a lighter vein, although there was a deep dissatisfaction in his words. In further interviews, Norris revealed that he had no regrets about his decision to chase Verstappen on the opening lap despite the incident. No. There was a gap I had to get through. I'm here to race, said Norris, who maintained that every decision he made in the race was part of his quest for victory. Former world champion Jenson Button paid tribute to Norris' courageous decision at the start of the race. There was nothing Lando could do but put his foot on the accelerator, said a confident Button. Max was in a difficult position coming out of turn 1 and Norris had no choice but to go fast. In the same discussion, commentator Martin Brundle added that Norris would not have changed anything about the clash with Verstappen. I don't think there was anything Lando could do other than step on the gas, he said, stressing that Norris did everything he could in a difficult situation. Meanwhile, McLaren team principal Andrea Stella also commented on Norris' decision on the opening lap. It was probably wiser for Lando to pick himself up and accept that he was going to be leading at the end of the race because the car was quick enough, said Stella. Despite this view, Norris still felt that the decision he made on the first lap was the best under the circumstances. Concluding his post-race interview, Norris revealed that although the race result was not what he had hoped for, he remained optimistic. It was still a really good weekend for me. I'm happy with my progress. I felt comfortable in the car again, said a determined Norris. The pace was really fast, but these little things got in the way. But it happens. I'm still happy, he added, reflecting the positive attitude he maintained despite the deep disappointment. Overall, despite having to fight hard for second place, Norris remained sporting and focused on improving himself. Obviously, I'm not where I want to be. I've got to try and find a way to fight and win, but next time I'll always win, said Norris, indicating that despite his struggles in this race, he remains eager to take on the next challenge. While the first lap incident was a controversial point in the race, it was a valuable lesson for Norris. Although he lost the chance to win, he remains optimistic and ready to win the next race, determined to overcome any obstacles and be the best. The Miami heat was not the only thing burning in the F1 paddock this week. Behind the glitz and glamour of the Grand Prix of the Americas, a simmering tension erupted between two F1 giants, Red Bull Racing and Mercedes-AMG. An official protest was filed. The accused? George Russell. The charge? Violation of the yellow flag safety rule. Red Bull, who felt directly disadvantaged by the race result, did not remain silent. They claimed that Russell, despite having taken his foot off the accelerator, did not actually reduce his speed significantly as he crossed the yellow flag zone. And that, they said, was a clear violation of Article 26.1a of the F1 sporting regulations. Significantly reduced speed, Red Bull claimed, means that the driver must pass the yellow flag zone at a lower speed than before. And in this case, George did not do that. They added that Max Verstappen, who was right behind Russell at the time, reacted more appropriately and cautiously. With Verstappen finishing just 5 seconds behind Russell, the consequences were huge. If the protest had been upheld, Russell could have been hit with a time penalty, and Verstappen would have been third on the podium. But Mercedes didn't back down. In their defense, Mercedes stood firm and confident, arguing strongly that George Russell's actions were well within what has long been understood, practiced and accepted by the FIA. According to them, what Russell did was not an infringement, but rather a standard response to a single yellow flag situation, where a driver simply shows a clear reduction in speed, usually by lifting his foot significantly off the accelerator. Mercedes maintained that Russell responded appropriately to the situation on the track. He recognized the car stopped at the side of the track, recognized the yellow flag signal, and immediately took precautionary action by significantly reducing his acceleration, as required by the regulations. With tensions rising and a rivalry seemingly crystallizing, the drama between Lando Norris and Max Verstappen in Miami is more than just a one-off incident. Instead, it could be the start of a fierce rivalry that will burn throughout the rest of the season. Both are talented young drivers, hungry for victory and unwilling to give up on each other, both on the track and mentally. Behind the cameras and the cheers of the crowd, a psychological war is brewing. The question is, who will be the first to control their emotions, show maturity under pressure, and claim the next victory? This is where the real battle begins, not just for speed, but for mental toughness. Write in your thoughts.